I'm backstage right now at Fox. I'm getting ready to show you that you are not alone. This is your country. You're still in control, but it seems today like nobody gets it. You know, you've lived your life in a responsible way. You didn't take out a loan that didn't require any kind of proof of income, yet now you're being forced to bail those people out. You've been concerned about this country through the last administration and this administration. If you're like most people, both administrations, it's not about politics. You actually believe in something. And you thought for a while there your politicians did as well. And now you kind of realize, well, maybe they don't. When you come home after a hard day at work, all you want to do is put your feet up. All you want to do is just relax and just watch a little television, catch up with what's happening in the world. But every time you turn that television on, it just seems like the whole world is spinning out of control.
War. Islamic extremism. Europe on the brink. Even pirates now. Closer to home, Mexico isn't safe for vacations or our kids anymore. 6,000 were killed or beheaded on our border just last year. And Phoenix now has the second highest rate of kidnapping in the world. Our companies face new union mandates, a global cap and trade, and the second highest corporate tax rate in the world. All the while, politicians wonder why jobs are going overseas. And yet, on the other side, some global corporations only see America as a market and you as a consumer. Meanwhile, over 4 million friends and neighbors have lost their jobs in the last 4 months alone. Names that we always thought described American strength have stocks that are now worth less than a Frappuccino. And we're all told they're just too big to fail. Yet 70% of all jobs are created by the small businessman, and nobody seems to even notice him. What happened to the country that loved the underdog and stood up for the little guy? What happened to the voice of the forgotten man? USA! The forgotten man is you. The voice that no one seems to hear, just quietly saying, enforce the law. Take responsibility for yourself. You can't have it all. And anybody who promised you that was a liar.
The current economic downturn.
Worst economic crisis.
Worst month of job loss.
But something is happening in America. Paradigms about to change. Your friends and neighbors, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, they're all beginning to wake up and wonder, how did this happen to us? 19 men lay awake all night in preparation. On September 10th, Americans were playing politics, and they had chosen to bury their heads in the sand and ignore the coming threat. I remember how picture perfect the day was. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and America seemed invincible. And yet, in the blink of an eye,
that airplane appeared to hit a little bit down the building around the 50th or 60th floor. Again, it struck flush.
The skies were filled with black clouds, and our hearts were full of terror and fear.
Absolute disaster.
We realized for the first time how fragile we really were. But then, something happened. We came together, and we promised ourselves that we would never forget. On September 12th, and for a short time after that, we really promised ourselves that we would focus on the things that were important. Our family, our friends, the eternal principles that allowed America to become the world's beacon of freedom.
I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
So once again, America has a choice. Tonight, we can choose to be the Americans of September 10th with our heads buried in the sand. We could be the Americans of September 11th who were unprepared and then paralyzed by fear, despair, or anger. Or we could choose to renew the promise that we all made to ourselves. By the end of this hour, you will be asked once again, choose. Will you commit yourself to really live America's time-tested values and principles? Will you with fierce determination and malice towards none. Be a watchman at the gate to alert those still asleep to rise up and be America's next greatest generation. You know, many in Washington, left and right, want to convince you that they're the solution. I happen to believe that them being the solution is the problem. The system has been perverted and it has to be restored. Those who screwed up must be allowed to fail. Those who broke the law must go to jail. And those who have played by the rules need to be left alone to rebuild our nation. The answers have never come from Washington. We weren't told how to behave that day after 9/11. We just knew it was right. It was the opposite of what we feel today. Let us find ourselves and our solutions together again with the 9 founding principles and the 12 eternal values. This is the 9/12 Project.
Are you ready to be that person that you were that day after 9/11 on 9/12? I told you for weeks, you're not alone. I'm turning into a frickin' televangelist. Let me tell you something. You're going to meet people from all across the country right now, from people all across the political spectrum. Come on, follow me. No matter where you are, from our studio audience here in Midtown Manhattan, to the sidewalks outside, to the people all over the country. Just a few blocks away in Times Square, where there are people at viewing parties. They're holding regular viewing parties. It started with people and by people, just regular people like you, like Joyce in Melbourne, Florida, whose party grew so large that she moved it from her restaurant to the parking lot outside. To the gatherings in Noah's in South Jordan, Utah. To homes in Golden Valley, Arizona, and Brewer, Maine. To the Garage Bar in Columbus, Ohio, and virtually every small town and big city in between in this great nation. There are people gathering in ranches in Texas, where some familiar faces have gathered to watch the show. To military bases in Iraq, where real heroes have gathered. We're even going to join some people in the hills of Hollywood, California. Yes, believe it or not, my producer Stu. No matter where you are right now, the message is clear. You are not alone. I'm going to show you how an idea that started with a single phone call on my radio show has grown into something that millions are now participating in. But the show isn't about me. It's not about the president. It's not about parties or politics or anything else. It is about proving that the real power to change America's course still resides with you. You are the secret. You're the answer. I'm sorry. I just love my country. And I fear for it. And it seems like the voices of our leaders and special interests and the media, they're surrounding us. It sounds intimidating. But you know what? Pull away the curtain. You'll realize that there isn't anybody there. It's just a few people that are just pressing the buttons, and their voices are actually really weak. The truth is, they don't surround us. We surround them. This is our country. A few weeks ago, I asked you to send in your picture if you believed in the principles. Well, I got to tell you, the response was so overwhelming that you shut our servers down. Here at Fox News, you shut the servers down 5 times. The results of the email is this. It's a mosaic. It includes only about 10% of all the pictures that we've received, but the mosaic proves that while a single photo is just a face, it's just a photo, thousands of them grouped together in the right way can create something much more powerful. We're also going to introduce you later to a brand new website that I've put together. It's called the 912project.com. This is a place where you're going to find continual updates on stories and people that prove that you can solve any problem if you just use values and principles, and they are still very much alive in America. More on that in a little later, but first I want to go to Stu. Steve Bregeer is his real name. He's my executive producer of the radio program. He's actually out in Hollywood, California to report, believe it or not, on a massive gathering that is taking place there in one of the most liberal cities in the country. Stu, are you there?